I'm here with Brian Ganter, and we are talking about setting up Webex for your course, which we thought we would record. Brian, The first thing you want to do is go to capilanou.webex.com.
Okay.
From there, you are going to want to sign in this area, but if you're on your desktop and this is your very first time doing it, you probably want to download and follow the instructions to download the app on your desktop.
Okay, this is an approved app at CAP. I should be able to download it without problem.
Yes, and it'll ask you for your one-time authentication, and then you'll be able to do that. That's a good question.
Great.
So if I sign in, it will automatically recognize me and immediately take me to my own personal Webex room.
Oh.
So here we are in my personal room. I can do two things in that room. I can start a meeting immediately, or I can schedule one for the future.
Oh, okay.
If I start a meeting in my personal room, it will give me a stable URL, and that's the student's URL, but it's always the same room. So if you have two classes, let's say you're teaching two English classes,
right, which I often do,
and you give them both the same personal room number, they can show up anytime that they want, and students from one class can come to a class that they don't belong in. Oh. So let's say you're talking about answers to a quiz in one room, but the other students in the other class haven't had the quiz yet. That would set up a problem.
I see. Yeah, okay.
That
makes sense.
So to avoid that, you would schedule a meeting, and I'm going to click on schedule here.
While you're doing that, if I have the stable link, that means if I want to have two different meetings in the same class at different points in the term, it'll always be the same link that they go back to.
That's right.
Okay, that makes it easier for students, I think.
But if you want to schedule one, then it creates a unique URL, a one-time only URL for that particular meeting. Okay. So to do that, we've clicked on schedule. We give the meeting a topic name.
That would be a common English 100 topic.
Okay, then we can schedule a time and a date. When I click on the down arrow, it gives me the calendar. Let's say we want to make it next week. And I can choose the time, AM or PM, and the duration up to 24 hours. That would be a very long meeting. When you schedule it, they'll get an automatic email, and you won't have to do anything.
Even if they're not signed up for Webex?
Even if they're not signed up for Webex, and I'll show you how to do that.
Really? I'm impressed.
There is one step you'll have to do, and that is to add their emails in here.
Got it.
Now, there's a way that you told me about how you can get an algorithm from your course. How do you do that so that you can just put that in instead of separate emails for the students?
There's a code for your CAP email that sends out a bulk email to your class. So I'm fairly sure if you just plugged it in your code there, it might work and send out the email to your class.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are in WebEx, and I'm in my personal room. I'm going to show you how the interface works once you have opened and started the meeting that you're going to have with you and a group of others, presumably your students. Whether you're starting a meeting from your personal room or scheduling a one-time only meeting, you open the meeting itself, and then when it loads, you'll see this interface because I've got to choose, am I calling from my computer? And then I can choose my system settings. So I can choose my speaker settings if they are different, or I can choose my microphone settings. I'm using a Yeti microphone, so I'll choose Yeti. I also have a camera setting, but usually you'd be using the camera that's attached to your own computer. And I click on the green Go button, and here we go. So we're waiting for others to join because no one's been invited to the meeting yet, but as you can see, I am here as one of the video interfaces, and there would be a series of others of all the students who are joining. What I want to draw your attention to is two things. Up in the top corner, there is this little information icon that will give you the URL for the meeting and the video address, as well as a phone number in case the students are trying to access your meeting that way. So there are multiple ways that they can get in. You can do a variety of things inside the meeting with these icons along the bottom. I can mute my microphone, or I can switch the camera device, turning it off if I only wanted to do audio, or I can share content. If I share content by clicking that button, there are a variety of things that my computer can do. I can share a PowerPoint presentation, I can share Teams or a Word document. If I scroll down, I can even share a new whiteboard. I can also record the meeting. So if I click record button, it's going to start recording, and I could do the recording just like that, and the recording is now happening. Once I stop the recording, it will automatically save into my what's called my recordings in my own Webex personal space. I can see the participants, and if there were students here, there would be a long list of them, or I can set up a chat so that I can send a message to anyone or everyone. I can type a message, hello, they'll all see it. And there are a variety of other options here. I can lock the meeting. I can also check my audio connection and invite and remind people if you set it up as a schedule. And then, of course, once I click this leave button, it will automatically close out and end the recording if I'm recording. If you do want to record, you have to remember to actually record to begin with. Otherwise, it won't record unless you tell it to do so. So I'm going to now end this meeting. It asks if I want to end the meeting. I say yes. If it's recording, it will take a while to render. It may take as much as 24 hours if it's a very long meeting, say an hour or so, maybe longer than an hour. It would take at least 24 hours to render. When I want to go find my recording, I can click on Recordings, and it will show me all of the previous recordings that I've made. The most recent will be at the top. I've made a little one because we only recorded for a few seconds, and it'll probably render here pretty quickly. Once that happens, I can then share it out more broadly by clicking this share button, and then I can email it to students or to anyone after that. And that is how easy it is to use Webex.